Well, it's great to be back on the road with the lockdown restrictions easing, and what I've got today is the 2020 Skoda Rapid. Now, Skoda's made the most of the lockdown. In fact, they've launched 3 models in one shot. You had the Karoq, you had the Superb facelift, and the Rapid. But the Rapid is the most important launch because it's the backbone of Skoda in India. This is the car that gives the company volumes. So, what's really new in the 2020 Rapid? Well, looking at it, it's the same shape that was launched almost a decade back in 2011 when the Rapid first debuted. So not much has changed over there except for a couple of facelifts along the way. But I have to say, this design has really aged well and it still looks pretty fresh. The Rapid's strong, clean and uncluttered design has stood the test of time and allowed the car to age quite gracefully. A big facelift in 2016 certainly helped. Okay, it doesn't look as modern or sleek as its rivals, but its robust and clean lines still attracts a lot of buyers. Well, what's really new, the talking point, is what's under the hood. It's an all-new engine, the 1-liter TSI. So basically, this is a new wine in an old bottle. Let's see how that wine tastes. But engine apart, the interior too, just like the exterior, is unchanged. The interiors, again, very, very familiar because they've been unchanged since the Rapid was launched. But I have to say the quality is still top class by class standards. It's just everything has got a solid feel to it, fit and finish. But there are a few new bits to speak of. We are in the Monte Carlo or the top variant, and with that you've got this leather stitching on the steering wheel, a flat bottom steering wheel with a dimple finish. This part is really nice. You've got this new seat trim. Again, the red adds a bit of color, a splash of sportiness, but I'm not sure about how it looks. It feels a bit like an aftermarket seat cover. But again, overall the interior is very functional, very straightforward and a very pleasing place to be. The big addition is an 8-inch Android-based infotainment system which looks a touch aftermarket. The high-res screen is sharp and easy to read, but it's not very intuitive to use. There's no Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. You get phone screen mirroring via a third-party Easy Connection app, but the experience isn't particularly seamless. Hook up the system through your phone's Wi-Fi. You can play around with all the apps that are bundled into the unit. Yup, I've just pulled up the Autocar India site. This top-spec Rapid has some really useful features and is reasonably well equipped. But there are no side airbags which you get in the more affordable style variant. Also, compared to the competition, there are quite a few things missing. You don't get LED lights, cool seats and the all-important sunroof. And there's no push-button start. You get an old-fashioned key. Now let's talk a bit about this engine first. This engine belongs to the EA211 family of the Volkswagen Group. This engine is going to be powering small Skodas and Volkswagens in the future. It's the latest in the petrol engine family. It's got turbocharging, direct injection, 4 valves per cylinder. From Skoda's standpoint, this engine replaces the old 1.6 MPI which was mated to a 5-speed gearbox. This is a 6-speed gearbox. That engine developed 105 horsepower and about 153 Newton meters of torque. This engine is more comparable to the 1.2 TSI which was there in the Vento. That's also gone because of PS6. And compared to that engine, this develops a bit more power, 110 versus 105. Same amount of torque, 175 Newton meters. So on paper, this engine is pretty good. But let's see how good it really is on the road. And with a lockdown that's not completely lifted, the roads have very little traffic. Perfect. Now the question everyone wants to know is the Rapid 1 litre TSI quick? How does it perform? Is it better than the petrol version it replaced? Of course it is, but more important, is it a substitute for the 1.5 diesel which has been discontinued? The truth is that this little engine doesn't have the sheer pulling power of a diesel at low speeds, and when you want a burst of acceleration in traffic, you'll find yourself shifting down a gear. But once you get into the peak of the power band, it's a different story. Wow, this engine just then comes alive. Ooh, once the turbos pull, this thing just pulls and pulls in one linear shove. It's a beautifully broad power band. Absolutely fantastic. This car is very, very quick once you get going. And honestly, this engine complements the chassis. This chassis always can do with a lot of power, and it just feels fantastic at speed. And speed is something the Rapid gathers very quickly. Our test data shows it's the fastest midsizer today, but it's the ease with which the Rapid builds up speed that makes it special. The secret is this feisty engine's wide spread of torque. It pulls hard and strong and just loves to be revved. In fact, the more you rev it, the smoother it gets, and the only giveaway that this is a 3-cylinder engine is the characteristic thrum. Now with an engine that's strong and willing to be exploited, you'll be tempted to have a little fun. The good thing is that the light and compact engine has made the Rapid a little less nose heavy and more eager to dive into corners. The ride is brilliant as always, and it feels so reassuring at speed. Yes, this is a fun car to drive, but before I forget, let's see if it's good to be chauffeur driven in too. So the rear also completely unchanged as far as space, legroom goes. Nice high seating position, good visibility outside. Legroom is also decent. Under thigh support, quite good. You've got an aircon vent, no USB port. In fact, even the USB port up front is really not well located. But otherwise, this is really quite a good place to be if you're chauffeur driven. And in this top trim Monte Carlo variant, you even get this little cushion. So what do we think of the new Rapid? Well, it certainly gets a fresh lease of life with this all-new state-of-the-art engine, but that still can't hide its age. It doesn't have the latest gizmos offered by rivals and feels a touch analog in comparison. But quite honestly, that's part of its charm. It's a car that still has its fundamentals right. So if you love to drive and need a safe and solid mid-size sedan that won't break the bank, the Rapid 1 litre TSI is the one for you.
Eager to get behind the wheel of a brand new car and wish those lockdown blues away? Well, since the auto industry had come to a standstill till not too long ago due to the coronavirus situation, lots of brand new cars that were to launch post the Auto Expo earlier this year will now be launched very soon. So let's take a look at those shiny new SUVs, hatchbacks, sedans and MPVs that will make it to showroom floors in the very near future. One of the biggest launches of 2020 will undoubtedly be the brand new 5th generation Honda City. The new mid-size sedan is larger than its predecessor and is set to get the best in-class cabin width. Top spec models will come fully loaded with LED headlamps, a sunroof, a large touchscreen infotainment system and a lot more. The City will get the tried and tested 1.5 diesel along with a new 1.5 petrol engine that will get both a manual and a CVT automatic option. But that's not the only car Honda will launch soon. The Japanese automaker will also launch the WRV facelift and the Jazz BS6 in India. The WRV facelift will get styling updates like a new chunkier front bumper, a new slatted front grille, and LED projector headlamps. Engines, both petrol and diesel, will also get updated to meet BS6 emission norms. The Jazz, on the other hand, will come with tweaks to the grille, the front bumper, along with LED headlamps and daytime running lights. The Jazz will only come with a BS6 petrol engine mated to a manual or a CVT automatic. India loves its SUVs and in particular its sub 4 meter compact SUVs, and there are 3 brand new ones coming to the market soon. The Kia Sonet shares its underpinnings with a Hyundai Venue but with a much more conventional and muscular design language. Packed to the brim with features, this rather cool compact SUV will have a 10.25-inch touchscreen, a Bose sound system, a 360-degree parking camera and drive modes. There will be 2 petrol engines and 1 diesel engine on offer, all of which will get a manual or an automatic gearbox option. Expect prices to be around the 7 lakh to 11.5 lakh range. The second in our list of sub 4 meter SUVs is the Toyota Urban Cruiser. The Urban Cruiser is essentially a badge-engineered Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza and will get a new front bumper and grille, giving it a differentiated look as compared to the Brezza along with a lighter colored interior. There will only be a petrol engine on offer just like the Brezza, and Toyota is set to offer the 48-volt mild hybrid setup on both the manual and automatic variants. Expect prices to be around the 7.5 to 11.5 lakh range. The Magnite will be Nissan's entry into the sub 4 meter SUV segment and will be priced ultra competitively at around 5.25 lakh rupees. The Magnite will have an upright design language with chunky wheel arches and the option of 2 petrol engines, both 1 litre, 1 naturally aspirated and 1 turbocharged unit, both of which will get a manual or an automatic gearbox option. Expect connected car technology, a large touchscreen and even a 360-degree parking camera. No upcoming car list is complete without a Maruti Suzuki, and the next launch from India's largest car maker will be the petrol version of the Maruti Suzuki S-Cross. Replacing the diesel engine in the S-Cross will be the K15 1.5-litre 4-cylinder petrol that makes 105 horsepower and 138 Nm of torque. This BS6 compliant engine will get a manual gearbox and a torque converter automatic, which in fact will be the first ever time the S-Cross will be offered with an auto box. Prices are expected to be lower than the outgoing diesel model at about 8 to 12 lakh rupees. As has been the case recently, SUVs seem to be the flavor of the year, and an SUV that has been highly anticipated this year is the all-new second generation Mahindra Thar. The new Thar will continue to have the familiar Jeep-inspired face, and much to the relief of the future owners, will get a factory-fitted hardtop option too. The interior too will see a massive step up with a touchscreen infotainment system, a front-facing row of rear seats and better quality all-round. The Thar will also have a diesel engine on offer with a manual and an automatic, while a petrol version is expected to make its debut too. Mahindra will also launch the BS6 version of the Marazzo MPV soon. The 1.5-litre diesel engine is expected to continue with the 123 horsepower, and there will also be the addition of an automatic gearbox. The Marazzo will also get a 1.5-litre direct injection turbo petrol unit that will make 163 horsepower. In addition to the Marazzo getting a more powerful petrol, the XUV 3002 will get a 1.2-litre direct injection turbo petrol engine that will make 130 horsepower and 230 Nm of torque. The engine will be mated to a manual gearbox and will most likely come in a new sports trim with body graphics and an all-black interior with red accents. With the diesel engine gone, the Duster soldiers on with a new BS6 version of the old 1.5-litre petrol. Things will get a little more exciting soon though, as a new 1.3-litre turbo petrol engine arrives. As on the Nissan Kicks, the direct injection engine will put out a class-leading 156 horsepower. Transmission duties will be handled by a 6-speed manual or an 8-step CVT automatic. The MG Hector Plus is essentially a 3-row version of the standard Hector, but also gets exterior updates like a revised front end with a new grille and updated LED daytime running lights and headlamps. The SUV will also get visual updates at the rear with new tail lamps and an updated bumper with dual exhausts. While the Hector Plus will most likely make its debut as a 6-seater taking on the likes of the Innova Krista, there will also eventually most likely be a 7-seat version. Mechanically, the Hector Plus will get a 1.5-litre turbo petrol and a 2-litre diesel. MG will also launch its large body-on-frame Gloster SUV in India around the festive season later this year. The Gloster, as any large SUV, gets an in-your-face design with a huge grille and large LED headlamps, and overall is even larger in terms of size than the Toyota Land Cruiser. Positioned as an upgrade from the likes of the Fortuner or the Ford Endeavour, the big brawny SUV will come with a 2-litre twin-turbo diesel engine that makes 218 horsepower and 480 Nm of torque. Expect prices to be around the 45 lakh rupee range. Hyundai has already launched the new Creta just before lockdown and the facelift Verna as a digital launch during the lockdown, and will soon launch the updated Tucson facelift. The update will bring a more sharper look with a wider front grille and new headlamps. Interiors will be thoroughly revised too. In true Hyundai fashion, the SUV will pack in loads of additional equipment like the Blue-Link connected car tech, a power-adjustable passenger seat, and a new larger touchscreen. Previous powertrains will be updated to meet BS6 emission norms, so the diesel will get a new automatic gearbox. The most important launch for Hyundai in the latter half of 2020 though will have to be the brand new i20. Featuring a hot new sporty design that will really help it stand out, the new i20 gets a large grille flanked with a set of angular LED headlamps, a sporty front bumper, and a really cool rear end design with boomerang-shaped tail lamps. As expected, the i20 will come packed with features and will be powered by a naturally aspirated 1.2 petrol or a turbo 1-litre petrol and a 1.5-litre turbo diesel. Expect the launch around the festive season. Hyundai will also update the Elantra facelift with the new diesel engine, the 1.5-litre motor that makes 115 horsepower and 250 Nm of torque. The engine will be mated to a 6-speed manual or a torque converter automatic. Tata's big launch for the latter half of 2020 will be the 7-seat Gravitas SUV. Essentially a 3-row version of the Harrier with a longer rear overhang and with a redesigned rear end, the Gravitas will still feature the Harrier's handsome front end design with split headlamps and well-styled interior. Under the hood will be a 2-litre turbo diesel making 170 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque. The Gravitas will come with a 6-speed automatic. The automatic gearbox will be the 6-speed torque converter that has been sourced from Hyundai and is also found in the Harrier SUV. Expect prices to be around the 18 to 22 lakh rupee range. If a hardcore off-road ready SUV is what you're looking for and the Thar that we talked about earlier is too mainstream, here is the alternative, the brand new Force Gurkha. This big burly off-roader made its debut at the 2020 Auto Expo earlier this year and will soon be launched in India. Updates on the car for this new gen model include LED daytime running lights and the updated interior with features like a touchscreen infotainment system. Under the skin will be a 2.6-litre BS6 compliant diesel engine making 90 horsepower, and of course it gets a traditional 4-wheel drive setup with a low range ratio. And talking about big brutish SUVs, here is possibly the granddaddy of them all, the new Land Rover Defender. The new Defender has been one of the most talked about SUVs in recent times and will make it to India officially for the first time ever in both the 90 or the shorter wheelbase and the 110 spec, which of course is the longer wheelbase option. The new Defender will be available with a 300 horsepower 2-litre turbo petrol with an 8-speed automatic and 4-wheel drive, with prices starting at 69,99,000 rupees to 86,27,000 rupees. The Defender will also come with a magnitude of optional extras and accessories pack, and although prices have been announced already, deliveries will start only later this year. Positioned below the 3 Series, the all-new BMW 2 Series Grand Coupe will take on the likes of the upcoming A-Class sedan and the Audi A3. The swooping roofline and the pillarless doors combined with the in-your-face BMW design and the large grille will make it quite the exciting proposition for younger and for first-time BMW buyers. The 2 Series Grand Coupe is expected to come with 2 engine options, a 2-litre petrol 220i making 192 horsepower and a 2-litre diesel 220d making 190 horsepower. Expect prices to be around the 32 to 38 lakh rupee range. The A-Class sedan or the A-Class limousine will replace the CLA in India. Based on the new A-Class hatchback in terms of design, the sedan gets Merc's latest styling, which is aggressive with a large front grille and angular headlamps. The standard models will be priced between 32 to 40 lakh rupees and the AMG is expected to be priced higher. The new second-gen GLA will be an important volumes model for Mercedes-Benz and is expected to launch in India in late 2020. The new GLA comes with muscular styling to take on the likes of the BMW X1 and the Volvo XC40 and will be offered with both petrol and diesel engines at a price point of about 38 to 40 lakh rupees. Just like the A-Class sedan, there could be a GLA 35 on the cards for India too. And now it's time for tips on sustainability and protecting the environment with Servo Futura G Plus from Indian Oil. Choose a smaller car if you don't need the size and space. Overloading the car with weight makes it work harder.